On the dyno, when we did 600 horsepower, we did 201 kilometers an hour in second gear. So technically, in a vacuum, this Quantum can do 300 k's an hour. But you need big balls, I think, to go over 200 in this vehicle. If you drive this vehicle, it's not bumpy, it's not noisy. We've got two big mufflers at the back. Muffles just enough that you still get a really nice beat to it. My name is James Redlinghuis. Behind me is my crazy Lamborghini-inspired V12 twin turbo taxi. The reason this taxi came about, 5 years ago, we were buying Toyota Quantum panel vans, which we then could legally get converted, and we could then sell them as taxis. And at that point, we decided, let's do something for marketing purposes, but also something creative. I came upon a company, SAD Customs Japan, that actually took a Lamborghini Aventador, and they took some inspiration from that, both the front and the back. And they had this really good video of this thing driving. And I said, well, this for me is one of the coolest cars that I've ever seen. And so the journey started of actually deciding to buy the body kit from Japan. The body kit cost $96,000, so that was an expensive part. We bought a 2012 2.5 petrol Quantum, and then we found a fabricator that could actually build the Quantum for us. It's a V12 1ZU engine from Japan. Not a lot of car nuts know that Toyota made a V12. It's actually an engine that comes from a Century, which is a limousine. Something limousine is almost exclusively sold in Japan. It does about 225 kilowatts from the factory, 410 Newton meters of torque, but that torque is delivered at about 1,500 RPM, so it's a really torquey engine. We've put two twin scroll turbos, T3, T4, so it's nice big turbos, which pulls up to about 3,500, then they start to boost. Running boost at 0.5 because we've got a high compression engine. Engine is 10.5 to 1 compression, which is very high for a turbocharged engine. It's not a good engine to turbocharge. The original injectors, which were 254 cc's, it couldn't deliver the fuel, so we put in Porsche 997 3.8 Carrera 351cc Bosch injectors in, running at a duty cycle of about 90%, which is on the limits, but that's still within the specs. Then we had a custom plenum designed with 12 trumpets to get the airflow equally into the plenum. On the ECU side, we run a max ECU. We've got this TCI 3-speed gearbox, a limited slip diff, 750 horsepower, it's rated to. We've got bespoke coilovers in the front. In the rears, we had to unfortunately take out the double triangulated suspension, so we're running the regional leaf springs. We're running the standard brakes in the front just because the Quantum is designed to carry load, so it's got really big brakes in the front. We also had to remove the intercooler, which was situated behind the diff, with two charge coolers, and that actually gets cooled by two radiators that sits in the front. It cools the intake temperature from about 80 to about 45 degrees, which is really, really good for a turbocharged engine. And then we had to install a couple of fans just to dissipate the heat buildup, as the engine is sitting quite high and it's sitting in a tub. I wanted something with a lot of torque, so that it can drive without the turbo spooling up. So you drive work and back, turbos is not on, you drive normally aspirated, 400 Newton meters of torque, which is fine to get the vehicle moving along. The auto box works fantastic, so it's really smooth, the gear changes. What's nice about this box, it's called the TCI, it's the company, and the model is a Street Fighter. It's a box that they use for street drag racing in America. So it's 3-speed, but what makes it unique, if you pull the pistol shifter from third to second, it actually changes instantly. It's interesting when the power comes in. I think because the torque curve is so linear, there is no drama. So you go from normally aspirated, you hit 3000 RPM, you can hear the turbos boost in, it almost feels like if the Quantum is lifting up a little bit, which is a great feeling. I won't dice a GTI. It is a brick, so it doesn't have good aerodynamics, but once I'm going, and I'm in second gear, and I'm at 80, and you floor that thing, I tell you, a fast car might beat you, but it's going to go, what the, that this Quantum is actually keeping up with me. This vehicle for me is about the sizzle. By achieving that, it achieved my goal. We had to go through a whole process of R&D. We could have gone a very simple route. We could have put a Toyota Supra 1 or 2 JZ engine in, buy parts from the shelf, put it in. It's all proven technology. But because we decided to go for the V12 engine, we had to pay a price for R&D. We are on engine number 3. We have done 2 turbo setups. The suspension was done 3 times. We have done 2 ECUs. It felt like I'm stuck in this nightmare, because it would just drag on and drag on. Every time something broke or we had to make a change, that was a month or 2 that went by. At that point you just say, this is a nightmare. I want to turn around and walk away from this. I did. I got in my car and I left. And then the weekend goes by and you say to yourself, I need to pick up. I can't just let this thing go. If you are maybe 600,000-700,000 into a build and you blow an engine, you can't just say, I give up. But I must say the last year when we started getting the outside done, getting the inside done, then I could see results. And then when we decided on the red with the gold wheels, I actually saw it for the first time. I said, now everything is coming together. And I was so delighted and overcome with emotions when I saw that. So the last year has really, really been not so frustrating. It's been a pleasure. For that, I'm thankful, because now that the taxi is done, I can actually enjoy it while I'm driving it. And it is really a fun vehicle to drive. Everything in this van, I would say we've taken it to the next level. The amount of compliments you get just make it absolutely worth the while. In my opinion, at least in South Africa, there's nothing like this. And in the world, you might find something which has got the same body kit, but mechanically having a twin turbo V12 with a bespoke suspension, I don't think there's something that comes close to this. So for me, it's a world unique vehicle.
Thanks very much for watching. If you've just watched this video but you haven't yet subscribed